Welcome back, guys, and finding a new formation may have finally given this season some hope. Yes, welcome back, guys, and well, just look at those fixtures. I mean, when you were last with us, we played Leicester, and that was a very, very disappointing defeat, frustrating defeat. And then, as I turned around and said, we were going to play Tottenham, and that went exactly how I expected it to do in the last episode. Not very well at all. Well, then we changed formation, and then I don't know what happened from there. We just started picking up results, picking up clean sheets. Obviously, we beat Cheltenham in the cup, which is what we were wanting, and we got a semi-favourable draw against Reading in the next round as well. Obviously, picking up results against Leeds, Villa, the draw against Palace, and obviously beating Reading. So we are beating teams that are around us. And what that has done is we found ourselves in a situation today where if we win, we can go 8 points clear of relegation. I don't think we've been out the relegation zone the entire season, but this switch up in formation, it's just worked miracles. We play Fulham in 2 days, and we could put a huge gap between us. And also, out of nowhere, not expecting it, we're only a point behind Southampton. I know they've got that game in hand, but it's on now. Can we do it? Can we do it 3 seasons and take all the teams out? So let's take a look at the formation that has possibly saved this season, or at least gave it some hope. Here is our new 4-3-1-2 formation. Not a lot of width in there. We've gone back to the vertical tiki-taka. Play out from defence, as you can see. You know, standard pace, standard tempo. Not worrying about getting in the box. Just get the ball, get up. We've gone back to our high press as well. And then we've had the emergence of, obviously, the team itself isn't how it normally is. Like, Gibbs White doesn't play up front. But we have had the emergence of Brennan Johnson playing up front for us. Obviously, without having any wingers, he ended up playing up there. And my God, he's made a difference as well. He's made a difference. Dare I say, he's almost like our new Dane Scarlett. I mean, he's got a lot to live up to by saying that, because Dane Scarlett's been a star, and possibly this season was a step too far for him. But Johnson, it could be the saviour of this season. But as you can see by the yellow lines around the screen, we are on January deadline day, and we can't ignore the bad news I got from the board, obviously, at the end of the last episode, where everything was being stripped back, transfer budget gone, wage budget stripped by about 140,000. So essentially, this month has basically been about selling players. We haven't brought anybody in. I haven't got any money to bring any in, and it's about basically selling players and just salvaging some sort of squad enough to get us to the end of the season, because I'm convinced if we can get to the end of the season, the finances survive this Premier League money, and we can kick on and really cement our place as the best team in the South Coast very, very soon in the next season or two. But yes, we can't ignore the perils that is the financial disaster of this save. So I would have loved to have give you some news on any incomings and deals, but nothing's coming, and I'm not expecting anything to come in. Like I said, I will play through deadline day, and if anything happens, I will come back and show it to you guys, and we'll go through it together. But I'm only really expecting players to leave. I mean, looking at the list here, these are the players, you know, Bishop. With the likes of Doherty and Saville, I'm reluctant to let him leave, but because we're now playing that 3 central midfielders, I feel like that's where we need most players. So I won't be disappointed if 1 or 2 of them stick around. So I'll either be back to finalise the squad and getting ready for Fulham, or I'll be back with some news from deadline day. Well, welcome back, guys, and as expected, deadline day was an absolute dud. I basically spent the entire time trying to get all those players out, and other than the odd daft loan where they didn't want to pay any wage contribution, which kind of defeats the purpose of getting rid of them, there was absolutely zero interest in those players, and there's probably a reason for that. So we weren't able to get a single of those players out, so a squad is rather full now. But it is what it is till the end of the season, and we weren't able to bring any in because we didn't have any financial room as it is. As best explanation for that is we have just had an email to say we are now required to pay monthly repayments of £80,000 towards the £19.75 million loan we took out earlier that the club took out to keep us afloat. So I'm hoping if I can drag us to the end of the season at the very least, that should fix the finances. But we had no wiggle room to do anything. So we're stuck with what the squad is from the beginning of the season. I mean, sod's law, what is rather typical is obviously I mentioned about Johnson being rather really clinical for ourselves, and he's out with flu for a fortnight. So typical, just as the big show's on the live and the cameras are on, one of the star players is not going to be. I'm not going to be able to show you what he can do, basically. But let's not worry about who isn't in the squad today to face Fulham. Let's worry about who is, and this massive, well, potentially I'd say 6-pointer. It could be an 8-pointer if we can get the result. So the team we've got today is Travers in goal, Toffolo on the left, Lacaviti in the middle with Lascelles and Castina, who's still in there on the right. And you've got Grimes, Miranda, and Gibbs White in the middle, with Fujimoto just in front of them, and the two. Well, I'll still call them star boys, and the two star boys up front. But they haven't really delivered as star boys this season. But that's the Premier League fire. Let's not waste any time. Let's go in and see if we can get this result. Let's not waste any time. Kickoffs happen. Let's get straight into the game. And like I said, let's get that positive result. Relatively quiet first 5 minutes. I'd like us to just not mess it up because our on-camera's performance very recently have not been very good against like Southampton and Leicester. So maybe we can actually get a victory on camera today in a crucial game. So we've just nicked the ball there. Can Grimes do something? Scarlets. And yeah, to kick at it. Nothing really off that. But can we do anything from the corner? That was possibly the worst corner I've seen. But nevertheless, we still have the ball and we can do something with it. No, we can't. Not on this occasion. Nice positive start, though. I know I have got it on balanced, but it does seem to be working if I keep it on balanced for a short while and then maybe as the game goes on, take it on to positive. But realistically, as long as we don't lose, I mean, there's a 5-point gap as long as we don't lose today, so I'm not going to hold out for a draw. That would be silly. But we are in the position where we can afford one, which is the first time this season I've been able to say that. They have got a corner now, though. And is anything going to do something with it? Oof. I mean, Travers he's filled me with a bit more confidence in Lumley and has done a better job, but he still has his moments. They've got the kick-off, and we've I was going to say we got the counter-attack straight on, but we lost the ball straight away. It's going to be like this on the camera, isn't it? Cameras are on, so the lads have forgot how to play. That was close. We have got a lot of highlights going our way in the first half an hour, which is positive, but we could really do with putting one of them away. Oh, that would have been perfect timing to say that. Archie with a close one there. What? I don't even know what's happened to Travers. He's like he's forgotten how to catch a ball. Come on, at least. Oh, that was an amazing deflection for them. I am just going to chuck it by working the ball into box just because we're getting a lot of chances, but obviously you can see they're only one on target. So we need to be a bit more efficient with our chances. Well, there we are, guys. It is half time and a relatively quiet first half. Not a lot to show for it. Quite a few highlights going our way, but as the XG suggests, absolutely nothing came of them. I am going to put us on positive now. 45 minutes. If we can get a result here today, it would be absolutely fantastic for the season. We have had to make an early change coming in. Dane Scarlett has gone off with a back injury, and hopefully that won't affect us too much. I mean, he didn't really do anything anyway, so now it's Fogelman's chance to get himself back in the team by showing us what we've missed. I know it says Christina's injured, but he's got a bad finger, so I'm not too worried about it. Another highlight there, not anything with it. I mean, I'll take a draw. Obviously, I would never want... Go on, lad. Go on. Thank you for doing something right for Chich. Folks, well, okay, I still can't say his name. Vogel Sama has just come on, proved his point. I asked him to prove a point. I asked him to tell us why we missed him and why he should be in the starting 11. And that's a pretty good response. We've got another highlight again here from the corner. And we've got two. Okay, he's made his point. He's made his point now. With 2 goals, he's been on about 10 minutes and he's got 2 goals. I think it would be criminal not to start him in the next game. I think I've angered him by not playing for a few games, but if this is what the anger brings, then I'm fine with that. He's absolutely proved his point, and I promise you, mate, in the next game, I'll start you. He's Archer in now. Oof. We nearly made it free, basically straight from the kickoff. I mean, we might actually, I'm probably going to curse it by saying this, but we might actually see a win on here this season. I think I'm not even too sure we've won a game on the cameras this season. This is a prime example, though, of what I was saying about this formation change. It does seem to have triggered something really, really good in this team. It seems to have brought that perfect balance. Obviously, they've barely had any shots, and we, not that we will get a clean sheet, but we're close to getting another clean sheet. So we seem to have balanced the team out really, really well, being a lot more efficient as well. So I'd love to give you amazing philosophy about how I came up with the 4-3-1-2. I honestly can't remember how we came up with it. But thank God we did. Otherwise, we may not have been in this situation. There's Archer there making some good runs. And that is 3-0 with Fujimoto. Seen in the game. Done and buried. We are now 8 points clear of relegation. And who'd have thought we'd have been saying that a month ago? I certainly wouldn't have been. A month ago, we're relegation and we're told we had to sell everybody because we had no money. I mean, we still have no money and we still have to sell everybody, but we're no longer in the relegation zone. Let's just make a few changes and put it back to balance. There's no point overplaying it now. We may as well see this game out comfortably. Yeah, made the rest of my changes, freshen that midfield up, take it back to balanced, and just hopefully we can manage this game out now. There's Archer then. That's a great thing about the way Archer plays. Oof. He's got such great pace. If you can get that ball in over the top of those defenders and he makes the right run, he's in every time. I mean, oof. His conversion's not the best, but as long as he keeps getting his chances, he's going to create stuff. And we just got to hope he puts enough of them away. Well, there we have it, guys. 3-0 victory over Fulham in the crucial 8-pointer. And just look at the league table there. Last time I looked at it, I was in the red. I've been in the red the entire season. Not only are we out of the relegation zone, we are up to 15th. Leeds, and more crucially, Southampton are below us in the league. Well, ignore the games in hand. But crucially, they are below us in the league. But more crucially, especially for this season, we are 8 points clear of relegation with 9 games to go. It's safe to say the formation change and whatever's gone on in January, even though I was expecting it to be the worst month, has been the best month of the season and could have, quite frankly, saved my job. So just one bit of news coming out of the game with Fulham. Dan Scarlett is out for 10 days to 3 weeks. So if Alexander wants to prove his point like he did and he wants to start scoring goals, he's going to get his chance, so now's the time to do it. So I've just been doing a little bit of maths and a little bit of figuring out, looking at the end of the season. And realistically, we need to be all but safe going into game week 31. I know there's 38 games, but in game week 31, we need to be all but safe. Because if you look at that running towards the end of the season, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Man United with Norwich, the only team not a big team for us. That, let's be honest, there's a good chance we'll lose 7 of those last 8 games. I mean, if we can pull a draw or 2 out of somewhere, it would be amazing. But realistically, from this week here for the rest of the season, I mean, look at that running. We're going to have to be seriously safe or have a massive gap and have a bit of luck on our side in order to make sure we stay up this season. I mean, things are looking up, and they're going to have to keep looking up for the next 2 months. Otherwise, I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen if we are not safe or close to safe coming into that game. So realistically, I've got to win the next 4 games. Now, granted, if I do win the next 4 games, admittedly I'd say I was safe. But there's absolutely no guarantee we win those next 4 games. But that running, basically we've got 4 games to stay up and hope for the best after that. And on that note, coming back for the Arsenal game seems like a good place to return for the next episode, so we can assess how those 4 games went and that ridiculous running we've got. And guys, if you have enjoyed the episode today, and if you have enjoyed this formation change and us playing some good football, 3 goals, clean sheet, great victory, 8 points clear, in financial trash, but we'll ignore that bit. But if you have enjoyed it and you are looking forward to seeing how we are after the Southampton game and whether we're back in the mud or whether we've done the job for the season, then obviously feel free to like the episode, subscribe to the channel for more, and feel free to share any shares of the channel or the episode, anything like that, so other people out there can maybe give it a watch and see if they enjoy it for themselves, see if they prefer, because if you look at the last episode, it was my misery. This episode, I'm a lot happier with the result. So whether you're happy that I'm happy or happy when I'm miserable, comment down below, like the episode, subscribe. All support is massively appreciated. And guys, I'll see you for that terrible running.